Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Run It Back here on FanDuel TV. And a different kind of morning for us, as there were no NBA games last night, but we did have one big final college game. Charania, Chandler Parsons, Lou Will. My name's Michelle, and let's just get into it, guys. UConn. Are you excited? Back-to-back champs. I would have to say maybe this is the building of a new dynasty, but they have beaten everybody in this tournament by at least 14 points. I want to say the average was closer to 20. Chandler, I'll start with you. I know, you're very sensitive about Florida and where it stands in the college landscape and all-time history and all that great stuff. But we're looking at a UConn team building something here. What's your opinion?
Yeah, this year was remarkable. I mean, the things they did, the way they won in the tournament and the conference tournament, it was really impressive. And Hurley is an unbelievable coach. Got to expect, a huge offer coming from Kentucky for him, from everything that we're hearing. But yeah, to go back to back is really hard. Now, when I started hearing this is one of the best college basketball teams ever, that I can't get on board with, but this is an impressive season. This was an unbelievably, challenging schedule that they had, and they pretty much I think they had 3 losses all year long, but the fact that they dominated by double digits pretty much every single game going up to the championship game, the way they handled Purdue last night while giving up, a pretty dominating performance by Edey on the other side was really impressive. So the fact that they don't have this crazy, 3-4 first round pick roster and they can do this just shows, how good of a recruiter Hurley is. He got the right guys in there that play the right way, that know their role, and it paid off. And it's hard not to overlook this team to go back to back to back. They're like the Chiefs. Can they win 3 in a row now? We'll see. But it was super impressive, and they were dominant all year long.
The Chiefs. Lou, did you like it?
Game was a little boring, but I think that was a good thing for UConn. UConn was they've been dominant all year. They were dominant in the tournament. They didn't give us much to watch last night. They didn't make it exciting. They took care of their business and ate their food and got up out of there. So congratulations to the UConn's men's basketball team and Coach Hurley having an opportunity to go back to back. I don't see anybody coming in out of the high school ranks that's going to slow this team down, or any of those teams that are going to rebuild and give them a challenge for next year. So they got a great chance to three-peat.
Oh, so you're saying put money on it now. Interesting. I will do that as soon as we're done here. Let's talk, and I want to get back to the Dan Hurley of it all, because I do find it interesting. We're talking about possible coaching change for a man who seems very happy where he is, but just put a pin in that, because Zach Edey, of course, is the story of the year. 2-time first player to win College Player of the Year, had 37 points last night. He's a big, lumbering man. I found myself at times just sort of watching the game thinking, okay, I don't get it, but okay, he's large. So my question is he a high draft pick? Because now we got to move forward. What's this dude going to look like professionally, Lou?
I think he's a serviceable guy.
Okay.
Anytime 7-footers are at a premium. You don't just find a bunch of 7-footers walking around, especially when you can find one with the skill set of Zach Edey. He played well, gave him 37 and 10, did everything that he could to put his team in position. And I want to say shout out to a young lawyer on the Purdue team. I actually watched him grow up as a kid. I've held him as a child, and to see him compete in the national championship game was surreal to me. His father was an assistant coach of mine, so that was a surreal moment for me to watch the tournament and watch him compete at that level. But Zach Edey he's gonna have to be a top 10 lottery pick. We've already discussed how this draft is. It's not a lot of guys out there that have the household names and what you have when it comes to that. And Zach Edey is going to be one of those guys, but I think he'll be a solid pro. So I see him going 1 or 2 in this draft.
All right, Chandler, you agree? 1 or 2.
I don't think he's going to be a top 10 pick. I don't think he's going to be a lottery pick, but I think he will be a serviceable big man. You can't teach that size. Like Lou said, there's a market for 7'4" with hands and with touch and with skill. He's decent from the free throw line, so he does present challenges, even at the next level, playing against grown, strong men. He's a monster, and it's crazy how often he gets middle. I would think the scouting report would make him kind of go to that left, make him go to the baseline, but all tournament long, he just kept getting to his spots. He dominated the offensive glass. Some of those block shots last night were insane. He's got great instincts protecting the rim. And he seemed like a competitive, great kid. And Purdue really struggled last night. I think their third leading scorer had 5 points. So it was basically Edey and the point guard, Smith. But he has a chance. And look, someone's going to take a flyer on him just because of that. He's had such a great college career. He's proven everything he can at this level. So the next step will be the NBA. He will be a first-round pick. And it'll be interesting to see how it transitions, because there's certain guys that you can tag that you just know aren't going to be elite NBA players. The Drew Timmies, the Heron Godys, the Tyler Hansbroughs. You knew that wasn't going to translate as much. I think Edey has a better chance than those guys to translate, but it's still not going to be a no-brainer to me. But with that size and that skill, he's got a chance.
My only thing, Chandler, is like, who's there, right? Like, who's there outside of, him and a couple of other guys? That's why I think that he's gonna be a top pick. You just give yourself an opportunity, and plus the draft picks, you got to use the draft picks. So why not go out and get one of the best players that's available? So that's my only reason I think he's a top pick. Because I don't think there's a lot. Go ahead.
What's funny is the kid on UConn, the Klingon kid, he's a higher projected draft pick, and he just gave him 37 and 10. That's my point. So it's like almost like NBA people, they like potential. They like ceilings. They don't care about numbers. They don't care about domination in the college ranks. They'd rather have Klington, who's a little more mobile, a little more, positionless, can maybe slide to the 4. So guys like that, I think, will get drafted higher. But again, this guy with the challenges he presents with his side, the dude's 7'4". But now the problem is we're seeing 7'4" guards like Wemby, like Porzingis. So like it's a different animal in the NBA.
I think those two guys were very different too. Klingon feels very fluid and athletic and graceful, and Edey just is big. I mean, I guess the big saving point is too, he's 7'4", but he's also not a frail 7'4". So I don't think you have to worry about. It's not Chet. Like, you don't have to worry about him coming in and putting weight on.
If I'm the Boston Celtics, if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, if I'm a good team with a late first-round pick and he's still there, and I need size and 6 fouls, hell yeah, I'm taking him.
Yeah. All right, he's going to be there. Okay, the Dan Hurley of it all. I'm very confused by this, right? So he just finished winning another championship back-to-back. He's clearly in the area, family, his wife's family, everybody's in and around. Why are we jumping to the Kentucky possible hiring of Dan Hurley? Because Chandler, correct me if I'm wrong here, is that not a lateral or even downwards move? Like, I'm a little confused why we think that's an upgrade.
Well, I think it's a perfect storm for him, right? Because even the chatter, the back-to-back, the fact that he is the top guy on the search for Kentucky, he's going to have options, right? He can either accept this job and take a crazy bag. We're talking the highest paid coach of all time. And while this is all going on, UConn is preparing to rip up his contract, extend him, and give him a raise just simply because he's hot right now and another school wants him. So he's going to have choices. He's in the best spot because he's going to force UConn's hand to pay him even more and to make him stay there if that's what they want. And he deserves it. He's completely revamped this team. You saw the interview from him a couple of years ago where he said, "Get us now because we're coming." And he's going to recruit the right kids. He's going to recruit team players that are NBA talent, and they know how to play in the college ranks. And this is what he's done. So to go back to back is hard, man. You saw Billy Donovan did it, and you see where he is now. That this guy, he deserves a raise, whether that's in the same UConn colors or if that's with Kentucky. We'll see. But he's in a great position to get a huge payday here, regardless.
What is it like? Yeah. So what Cal just moved for what, 8.5 to go to Arkansas? So what would this be, like 11, 12, 13?
I think he'll get, he'll get whatever he wants.
He's going to be able to get it wearing the uniform that he's wearing with the guys that he's brought in.
Yeah.
Winning 2 national championships, they're not going to have any shortage of money to be able to match whatever deal that comes his way to keep him in place. And listen, sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side, right? Like, Kentucky sounds fun, but you spent the last few years on building culture and bringing guys in that fit the way that you like to coach. And, your athletic director has given you the funds and the resources to do that. Why would you move? I think UConn matches anything that comes his way and he stays put.
Yeah, and he's clearly got the recipe to succeed at UConn, right? Maybe he wants something new. Maybe he wants to change the scenery. But like you said, why even take that risk when clearly you have the relationships there, you have the resources there, you have the staff there now that knows how to win national championship, and now you really have a chance to make history.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you can go back to back to back and really make your mark in history. If I'm him, I'm hoping that UConn just ponies up and I stay right there.
Yep. I just say they match the offer and we keep it as is. All right, time for some scoop, Shams. This first one put a smile on my face when I saw it. Isaiah Thomas, he can relax for the rest of the season. What's going on?
The Suns are signing Isaiah Thomas to a minimum contract for the remainder of the season. I'm told his last 10-day contract expired on Monday, but he will stick with the Suns for the rest of the season. And to me, this is a comeback story of perseverance. 35 years old, had not played in the NBA since 2022, trained every single day, really back home in his native Seattle, joined the G League under Danny Ainge. It was really a full circle story. We know that relationship ended on a sour note in Boston when he was traded from the Celtics to the Cavs in 2017. He goes to G League in Salt Lake City, averages 35 points almost, 45% from three-point range, then gets the call up to the Suns on 2 10-day contracts. And he's only appeared in 4 games, but already from everything I hear, the leadership impact that he's having there, being a voice in the locker room, I think him and Thad Young have really stood out as leaders for those Suns. And around Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, you need vets, you need guys that have been through it, have been through the ups, the downs, playoff battles, deep championship potential runs in the playoffs. And obviously IT has been part of multiple chases in Boston. So he came in just a month ago, and he's already made his impact felt off the court and on the court at times in Phoenix.
Guys, I know everyone here felt very happy when we saw this one. Lou, I'll start with you. As far as comeback stories go, where are you putting this one?
This is great. Listen, I follow IT on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and I watch him every day tweet and share that he's in the gym, that he's working, he's staying in shape, he's still giving himself an opportunity, he's not losing hope, he's not losing faith. And, you know, sometimes when you look at a guy do this for over a year, you're like, hey, bro, I think we should pay attention to the signs. Like, it may be over. IT knew something about himself and his talent that we didn't, and he believed in something that maybe other teams and GMs didn't, and he got his opportunity, man. So huge salute to him for never quitting. I love the fact that he said that, you know, he was going so hard and doing this to set an example for his children and you know, his little people in his house that look up to him for leadership. And he's been able to carry himself in a manner that got him back in the league. And now he's that father figure that can look at his kids and tell them, I told you to never give up on yourself and never give up on your dreams. So salute to IT for having another opportunity at his career.
I love this, Chandler. It's feel good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I don't think people realize how hard this is to do when you're out of the league, you're by yourself, you're back home. Nobody's calling, you know, you're watching, but, you know, your agent's phone's not ringing, your phone's not ringing. So this takes so much mental toughness, so much, you know, treatment on his body that, by the way, he's doing himself, or he's hiring and paying for himself just to stay in NBA shape, to, you know, to have no ego and to go to the G League and absolutely dominate at his age with his resume, everything he's been through in his career. It truly is impressive, man. It just shows you good things happen to good people in this league. There's a lot more talented people probably than Isaiah Thomas that are sitting around right now without a job. But he has the work ethic, he's got the game, he's got the talent, and he's got the personality that locker rooms want that. Even if he isn't a huge contributor for the Suns the rest of this season going to the playoffs, he's just a breath of fresh air in there. He's going to work with the young guys. He's going to play ones after practice, before practice. There's no job too small, clearly, for this guy. And that's exactly what you want when you're an organization and when you're a team like the Suns, who, by the way, need a point guard. So don't be surprised if he actually gets an opportunity here in the playoffs too, and has one of these big Isaiah Thomas type games. And I hope it happens, because he clearly has worked, he's grinded, now it's paid off, and it truly is special.
I like this story. Shams, this next one is very sexy. The topic, of course, injury reporting. Can't wait. So the Sixers got the $100,000 fine because of injury reporting problems with what they did with Joel Embiid. Then the Knicks get a $25,000 fine for Mitchell Robinson. Is this something that the league is purposely looking for and cracking down on?
The league is keeping an eye, especially, you know, last week. I mean, we said on the show, I think Monday morning, that Joel Embiid could be back as soon as Tuesday. Obviously, he was listed out, and the league is monitoring anytime if a guy's listed out and there's a quick change on the injury report. In that case, for Joel Embiid's situation, it was about an hour and a half before the game, hour and 25 minutes before the game, when Joel Embiid was suddenly moved from out to questionable, even though there had been reporting that, yes, it could be tonight that he's back. And then similarly, the Knicks were fined $25,000. The Sixers fine was $100,000 for that Joel Embiid situation. But that's because of prior history, prior situations. The Knicks got $25,000, no prior history there. But similarly, Mitchell Robinson, was similarly listed on the injury report, then suddenly made available a couple weeks ago in Toronto. So I think anytime some sudden change happens from out to available or available to out with such short amount of time before a game, it's obviously going to raise a flag with the league office.
Can I be dumb? Is there a reason that this matters other than, I guess, gambling ramifications? But why does it matter if they tell you an hour before, 20 minutes before, 2 days before?
It's game planning.
Well, yeah, some coaches like to play like mind games. Like hopefully this team that played tonight doesn't prepare for Joel Embiid. What's funny is all GMs, all coaches, all owners, they all follow Shams, right? Like they know that like he's possibly going to play. So and it's not like he's sick, right? It's not like he's 50-50 that he's playing. This is a guy coming back from a major surgery. So this was a little different. But yeah, especially come later in the season or when games matter, a lot of coaches are kind of, a little sneaky and a little secretive, which is kind of silly. And we knew this was going to happen. We knew they were going to get fined. We knew there was going to be some ramifications, for doing this like an hour before tip. But whoever they played that night, I can't remember. They definitely during shoot around kind of went over for 5 minutes. Okay, this is the coverage just in case Joel plays. So it's not like it's the craziest surprise ever, when it does come out that he's playing. And there's still an hour on the clock that they can even go back in and watch a little bit more film and kind of correct some things that they did differently, knowing he's in. So to me, it's stupid. To me, they know what Philly's like with Joel Embiid. So prepare for that. And if he doesn't play, so what?
That seems simple enough. Okay, fair enough. Also, they were testing us, Shams, because you had told us he was coming back. And then they kept saying he was out. And I was like, do not test my trust in Shams Charania. And so here we are. He was right the whole time. We've got games tonight. Woohoo! Everything's coming back. Celtics, Bucks up first. And the Bucks are trying to avoid a 5-game losing streak. And maybe this helps that they're playing a Celtics team that's had this thing locked up and they might be resting players. I don't know, but we know that they had a film session. We know that players allegedly had spoken their minds. Shams told us a bunch about what's going on with Doc and how he's trying to deal with it. Okay, let's just predict, Chandler. What do we expect this Bucks team to look like coming out tonight? They've had a minute to think, regroup. They only have a few games left. What should we see?
You would hope they just come out with a bunch of energy and play extremely hard. Usually when something like this happens with the all hands on deck, a fire drill meeting like this, at least it gets through in the first couple games or so. There's a sense of urgency and there's a sense of pride where the team is going to, show Doc, okay, this is us moving forward. And the problem is, the Celtics have nothing to prove tonight. They're probably going to rest guys, right? They're 15 games up on the Bucks. Like this game means nothing to them. So this is a great opportunity for the Bucks to possibly get a shorthanded Celtics team to get back on the horse and to kind of swing things back into a positive momentum heading into the playoffs. Because again, anything can happen. They're only a game up on Orlando and the Knicks. So every game for them, they've put themselves in the situation where every game matters. Everybody's watching the standings in the conference right now. So this is a chance for them that we don't know who's playing yet, I don't think, or who's out. But this is a great opportunity for them to get back off the schneid and start doing what they showed us flashes of during the regular season.
Lou, you've been in a Doc Rivers meeting, so take us in. How does it work? You walk in. Is there any levity? Is there any smiling, or is he just wants to try to scare you a little bit?
It depends on the vibe. It depends on where you are in the season. We've had a number of different vibes when it comes to Doc. We've had film sessions where it's players only. We watch the film and then we bring the coaches in and we see if our areas of concern align with their areas of concern, and then we go through it together as a team. We have those. You have the players only meetings. You might have a one-on-one film session with Doc to address something that you're doing individually. So these meetings can be different depending on where they are in the season. If I'm a guessing man right now, they're in there talking about areas of concern and things on the defensive end and just trying to get on the same page going into the postseason. He's not a coach that overreacts. He's a very realistic coach. Them still sitting at the number 2 seed, he's not overreacting and thinking they're in a bad spot. They're trying to correct some things that they've gotten severely wrong that's got them in a 5-game losing streak, and they're going to try to correct those things. Tonight, they're not going to overreact and think this game is bigger than it is. Tonight, they're going to prepare for this team like usual. Right now, they're worried about the postseason and getting on the same page collectively.
Crazy that they find themselves in this situation, Shams. I mean, Chandler sort of touched on it briefly there, but since the Celtics have such a nice cushion, they got nothing to worry about, nothing to do here. Can we assume they're going to rest some players this week?
Well, tonight, let's start with the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Derek White, all listed available to play tonight. So those top 4 guys appear not to be on the resting side, at least tonight. National TV game. Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford listed questionable. Chris Middleton as well. He's obviously got banged up, knocked a tooth out of his mouth the other day. He's listed probable to play, though. Giannis, questionable. But to me, the Celtics' best record in the league, nothing to prove tonight. Most dominant team in the league, obviously the highest plus-minus. They've got the second most 30-plus point blowouts in league history. Everything is about the playoffs. It's a championship or bust season. We all know it. They know it. They've been through multiple conference finals. They've been to the NBA Finals a couple years ago in 2022. So right now it's obviously all about the playoffs, but it is notable that at least their top guys are playing tonight.
Giannis is questionable. Do we not just say that this matters? What's the deal?
Well, he's got a hamstring. He's obviously been dealing with.
I know,
there's been moments he's warmed up, but listen, he was listed questionable the other day. He played. We'll see if Giannis will go tonight. They obviously need all hands on deck in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but like I said, Michelle, again, they're not going to overreact. We're still the number 2 seed. We don't have a shot at number 1. We're going to be where we are at this point, so we might as well go into this thing healthy.
But do they not care if they drop to 3 or 4? Or?
Long as they're at home, it doesn't matter. It's no easy routes. And would you rather worry about trying to stay in 2 with a Giannis that's banged up with a bad hamstring, or give him an opportunity to rest it a little while longer and you just deal with it and you go into it healthy with whatever seed that you have? You're still gonna have home court advantage, so you're not gonna slide that far. So
all right, let's play it out.
Yeah, the problem is they need to stay at 2 or 3 because they don't want to go to 4 because they do not want to play the Celtics second round. If anything, I'm trying to delay that process to the Eastern Conference Finals as long as I can. So it doesn't really matter if you're the Bucks because I truly think they believe they are the second best team, and I think they can hang with the Celtics in a series if they get everything figured out and with the talent that they have. So ideally, they wouldn't want to fall to 4 because you don't want to have to play Boston the second round. You want to delay that as long as possible. So it is interesting, but again, they're not worried about the Magic. They're not worried about the Pacers. They're not worried about any of these teams. They have their eyes on the Celtics, and by the way, the Celtics have their eyes on the Milwaukee Bucks too. They know that's what's going to happen. They know that's going to be the final. Unless something crazy happens, I think the Celtics know the Bucks are the team that we're going to have to go through to get to the NBA championship.
I really haven't seen enough from this Bucks team to have this sense of arrogance that they shouldn't be worried about any of those teams you just mentioned. I don't think that maybe the Celtics can walk through this like a little bit, cocky, but this Bucks team has looked, especially as of late, confusing.
Out of all the things that we're talking about, the Milwaukee Bucks are the only ones with a championship ring.
But good Lord, a lot's happened since then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you about mindset, right? So they still feel like there's a switch where we can turn this thing on and we can right this ship, and that's how they're approaching this thing.
Yeah, and when you have Giannis, when you have Damian Lillard, when you have Lopez and Portis, and you have all this talent, that you have this aura, you have this confidence, like Lou said, where okay, if we just happen to turn on the right moment, we get healthy, someone else happens to have an injury on the, you know what I mean? Anything can happen in these next 2 months in the postseason. So as inconsistent the struggles they've had, it's crazy that the Bucks are still looking at them like they're the second best team in the entire Eastern Conference.
And the more successful you are, you tend to get bored at the end of the season. This season started in October. You got to think about it. These guys have been all the way to the top. They've seen confetti before. So when you go through the rigors of the season, you're like, I'm not getting up for a Washington Wizards team. I'm not getting up for these type of games. And you might drop those games because you're coming into it without the right mindset. But when it comes to playoff basketball and that switch needs to be turned on when it's win or go home, trust me, you'll see a different group.
I think we should all have a bunch of side bets on this Eastern Conference, how it's going to play out. I'd like to take y'all's money, if that's all right. Warriors, Lakers. Okay, here's a game that matters. Oh, it matters for both. Warriors and Lakers. Lakers right now 1.5 games ahead of the Warriors. So if they win, they'll probably have home court if they meet up in the play-in. Both trying to avoid the 10 seed and having to play and win 2 road games to get up into that playoff spot. Anthony Davis and or LeBron, Shams. Can we expect both? One, none? What's it looking like?
Both are questionable. Obvious optimism and hope that both can play tonight. This is a massive game for the Lakers. Up 1.5 games on the Warriors. If the Lakers win out, or if they're able to win tonight, win their next 2 at Memphis Friday, at New Orleans to finish the season on Sunday, they have a chance potentially to be the 7 or 8 seed. If they lose tonight, they have a chance to potentially fall all the way to 10. So really a massive game, high stakes game tonight. Warriors, Lakers in LA.
I'm just crazy that we got here. Go ahead.
LeBron and Anthony Davis are playing tonight. This is the biggest. This is their season. They have a
Did you
chance.
just scoop Shams? What's happening here?
No, there's no way they missed
They
it.
don't. And yeah, there ain't no way.
They're not.
Listen,
okay,
like
they're not
Shams
missing
just
it.
said.
Yeah.
Shams just said they have a chance to literally get to the 8th and 9th seed and at least get a chance at 2 games in the play-in to actually solidify themselves as a top 8 seed in the West and to get a chance to go and play, the Nuggets or the Timberwolves, whoever it may be, how that shakes out. But this is the game of the night. This is their season's on the line. They have a chance to really make some ground here to kind of put the Warriors in that 10 seed. You don't want to be in that 9-10 game. That is pressure packed. That is one and done. You are done. So if you can get somehow to that 8 or that 7 seed, I truly think they can beat New Orleans, and I truly think they can beat Sacramento if they happen to get up there. So they will be all hands on deck tonight. They are playing like this is Game 7 of the finals, and I love the Lakers tonight.
I mean, it's crazy to say this about 2 teams that are so veteran-packed with so much championship experience, but does it matter, the home court, in this particular case for either one of these teams? How big a deal is this?
By the way, Lou, I'm thinking if they win this game and they get up to 7 or 8, they're looking at playing the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round, and they're confident in that series too. So like that's how big this game is. Looking way far ahead.
Yeah, you did.
Kidding me? You get Minnesota, and then you can avoid the Nuggets if they finish 2 to the Western Conference Finals. Now we're talking Lakers possibly in the Western Conference Finals just off the win tonight. Yikes!
Stop it.
Hey, listen, I don't know about that. You're very optimistic, but listen, the more this season has gone on, I'm starting to believe in the Minnesotas and the OKCs. They are the real deals. These teams aren't gonna be an easy out. But like you said, small wins. Tonight is a huge win. If they can get this one, this can possibly change the trajectory of everything that they're trying to accomplish for this postseason run.
You guys, it sounds like a lot of confidence in the Lakers, but do you have any of that same kind of confidence in this Warriors team to get out of the play-in and even possibly win a playoff series? Uh-oh. No one's saying.
That's what's weird. I like both. I still like both. But if I'm choosing one, I'm gonna still say the Lakers are gonna get out of this play-in and get one of those positions. Even if they go 7 and 8, I think they still solidify themselves and they move forward.
That
Chandler,
9-10 Warriors-Lakers, that would be a bloodbath. Like, imagine one of those organizations losing in that 9-10 game, and one of them will have to lose, right? And one of them will be bounced way, way earlier than we all expect if that were to be the matchup. I mean, obviously, that game would get, tons of eyeballs, but that's that would be incredibly difficult for either of those teams.
That's why I'd love the Lakers to win this game and to go up to that 7-8 seed, because then the Warriors and the Lakers both have a chance to lock in that 7-8 seed. I think that's better for the playoffs. It's better for fans. It's better for everybody. I think everyone can agree they'd rather see the Warriors and the Lakers than the Pelicans and the Kings in that 7-8 seed. So,
but here we are overlooking the Kings again. We got to start
Every time.
Sacramento and New Orleans are on you today, Chandler.
Every
the minute
time.
Malik Monk went down, and then Kevin Huerter, it's just like those are two substantial guys that help their team. And same thing with New Orleans with Ingram out. The up and downs with that team. It's tough, but it's crazy that it's these 4 teams, because they would all make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. So like it's crazy. So it's a good place to be. That again, the depth of this conference is insane. I personally I'd love to see Steph and LeBron in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy. The play-in might be better than most of the first round.
9-10. Forget it. Let's get it over with from the beginning.
Do too.
Duke it out 9-10.
Kinda like it.
What a game that
would be insane.
Extension of the March Madness love. All right, Shams, we're gonna take a break here. We're gonna say goodbye to you. Love you, mean it. See you in the morning. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the West. Lou says he's starting to believe in teams like the Thunder. How much? When Run It Back returns.
Run it back, yeah.
Oh, this next topic is just straight up for Lou. Kings at Thunder. Game behind. The Thunder are of the Nuggets and Wolves for the top seed. Kings fighting to get out of the play-in. They are now, of course, at the 8, and only a game behind the Suns for the 6. We got Jalen Williams, who's just awesome, averaging almost 20 a game, 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds. So let's start with him, because we know SGA is fantastic. But Chandler, how great has Jalen Williams been and his emergence as a part of this team?
He's been unbelievable, and everyone talks about SGA, possible MVP. He's the guy, but when you look at the numbers, the analytics, fourth quarter, it's Jalen Williams' time. He's one of the more crunch time players, one of the most clutch players in the league, not just on this team. And it just gives that sort of relief for SGA that he doesn't have to do it all. This is another big guard. He can post up. He can handle and pick and roll. He finds ways to score. This is kind of like a Tatum and Brown situation where we're seeing these 2 stars groom, and everyone's talking about Tatum, everyone's talking about SGA, and Jaylen Brown, Jalen Williams, these type of guys, they're right there, and they're stars themselves. This kid's an all-star probably as soon as next year if he continues to put up these numbers. And his just growth in the short amount of time that he's been in the league from a small college is really, really tremendous. And he's clearly put in the work. He's in the right system, and he's got the right infrastructure and the right roster for years to come to really, really keep exploding on the scene and really become a top player in the league.
Lou, have you been surprised by what you've seen from him? I mean, maybe it is partly because we focus so much on SGA and Chet. Did you know that this was him?
No, it's been a surprise. We knew a lot of those guys over there were talented. We didn't know they were this good, and we didn't know they were going to be this good that fast. And Jalen Williams has an opportunity to emerge as a hero at OKC going into the playoffs. When the playoff game starts and it's a half-court game, they're going to take away a lot of things. They're going to take away some comfort in SGA, whether that's him getting to the middle of the floor, getting in the paint. They're going to try to limit his paint touches. When it comes to Chet, they're going to try to keep him out of pick and roll situations where he can slip to the rim and take away his ability to shoot. So that's going to give Jalen Williams an opportunity to really emerge as one of the best players on his basketball team and will them to a couple of playoff wins if they go into it taking away some things, from the SGAs and from the Chets. This is going to be a big breakout series and playoff run for him if done right.
Yeah, and as good as we've seen him be, Lou, the playoffs are next level. So the fact that he's going to be getting these reps, he's going to be the 2 option, getting kind of this exposure with the bright lights, it's going to even, immensely grow his potential and his game just by simply having this experience of getting to the playoffs this early in his career and being a huge factor.
So can we talk coaches awards for a second here? Right now, the Thunder coach, Mark Daigneault, favorite to win Coach of the Year. He's followed closely by Jamal Mosley, the Magic. So does it matter where they finish, Chandler, whether or not he's deserving of this award, or is it his no matter what?
I think it's his no matter what, just because the youth of this team and kind of how quickly they've just become a top team in the NBA, not only just the Western Conference, but in the entire league. We talked about they have the same average as like UNC college basketball team did of us as far as age. Like it's crazy what they're doing. That's why I think most people are hesitant to kind of give them the advantage in the postseason, just because we haven't seen them do that yet. But clearly, this kid, this guy, he knows what he's doing. He's put them in the right spots. His offense has been great to have these guards flourish. How he goes small ball with Chet to 5, but then sometimes he moves him to the 4. He's got the personnel to kind of go to do a little bit of everything. His defense has been great all year long. So you got to give him credit. And not a lot of people have heard about him. He was with me at University of Florida, and he was kind of Billy Donovan's understudy. I think he was actually like a film guy or like a player development guy. And out of nowhere, I saw they hired Mark Daigneault. I was like, no way. I spent time with him in Florida. He's been unbelievable. So it's much deserved because nobody thought the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to be here. Like no one thought. So that to me gives them the edge. Minnesota and Finch, that's also a surprise. Mosley and Orlando, that's also a surprise. But this to me is just a whole nother level, and I think he deserves Coach of the Year.
All right, Lou, this is your chance. Fight for the little guy. Let's talk Kings, shall we? Half game ahead of the Lakers right now. So the whole trying to avoid that 9 seed and all the goodness that comes with that, Lou, talk to me about the importance of that and why they can do it.
I mean, listen, it's probably the most important thing of their season so far. When it comes down to trying to win one game to eliminate Steph Curry from playoff contention, you don't want to be the team in the way of that. You don't want to be in the team in the way of a championship caliber group that knows what it takes to win big games like this. And so if I'm the Sacramento Kings, I'm avoiding this at all costs. We have a term in the NBA, do your work early. They have an opportunity to do your work early, so you're not in that position. So get it done now so you won't put yourselves against the wall where you have to deal with a Steph Curry and a motivated Golden State Warriors basketball team. So I still like the Kings, but if they're smart, get it done before you put yourselves in this position now. I'm sure that's going to be the message coming from Coach going into these last few games.
I feel like we asked the same question at the end of last season, Chandler. And I know the injuries for the Kings that you can't predict that. It's just a bad luck part of the whole thing. But are they missing something, maybe one piece, two pieces for us to take them more seriously each year as a contender?
Yeah, they are. And they know that. They know as good as Fox and Sabonis are and the stats that they put up this year, that they're still overlooked and they still don't compare to kind of these other duos in the league. They're just too elite. They're too good. And when you do have a guy like Monk and a guy like Kevin Huerter and they go out at this point of the season, that's a huge blow to them, especially as we're talking about the possible 6th man of the year and arguably their best outside shooter that aren't going to be available now in the most important time of the season. So this is a team that we're always going to overlook, and they've had an up and down year. They had a great run last year, and still we somehow believe more in the Warriors, right? And the Lakers and these big, the bullies. And it's crazy, but the Kings are they're just missing something. And I love Murray. I think they try and do a move where they get off Harrison Barnes this year and kind of add that real third option to kind of put with Fox and Sabonis. But like Lou said, as much as the Lakers and they don't want to be in this play in the 9-10 spot, the Kings definitely don't want to be in the 9-10 spot. So when you look at the game tonight, I think this means more to them than it does to Oklahoma City. This game is huge. This is a season-saving moment game for them too, where if they can get this, then they're looking at like a New Orleans or a Lakers. At least they get the 2 games in the play-in. This is a huge game for the Kings tonight. So I don't know if they'll win, but if I had to bet, I'm definitely taking Kings plus 5.5 because I think their positioning is more important right now than the Thunder's, 1 through 3.
Where is this game tonight?
It is at Thunder. Does that matter to you? Yeah. No, it's hard.
It's a little tougher a little tougher on the road. Who knows? But I feel like I still like the Kings in this game. Like you said, highly motivated. OKC could move up in the standings. They can go down. So like I said, it might get tricky with lineups with them too at this point of the season, trying to go into the postseason in one piece. So who knows? But I like the Kings in this one.
Oh, look, another game that has ramifications. Knicks at Bulls. This final week is a good one. Knicks are the 4 seed right now. I ask you this. Lou, I'll start with you. If you are the Knicks, do you want to finish in the 3 seed against the Pacers? You want the 4 seed where you'll play the Cavs? Or do you just really want to avoid the 2 no matter what, where you may play Philly or the Heat?
Yeah, I think you want to shoot for that 3 spot if you're the New York Knicks. Right now, the Indiana Pacers look like that's going to be the path for you to get out of that first round. The best path. You don't want to run into the Sixers. You don't want to run into the Heat. You don't want to play those teams. You don't want to run into a Cleveland right now at a 4-5 matchup. Those are gonna be tough. Even though entertainment-wise, I would prefer them to play the Cavaliers. But if I'm them, I'm trying to get that Indiana Pacers matchup and doing everything I can to get that spot.
I mean, are we not thinking the Cavs might be a good one right now? They seem to be the blood in the water. They've lost 3. Something's going on.
Well, Donovan Mitchell's not playing, but if he comes back, that's a completely different series you're looking at.
Yeah, and the Cavs, they're one of those teams too. They're sneaky. Like they have talent. They've been so inconsistent. And the one kind of month stretch that they were fully healthy, they were the hottest team in the NBA. So when you have that, and you have Donovan Mitchell who's fully healthy and he's can go for 40 every single night, I do like that. But the Knicks are in a good position. They beat the Cavs in the first round last year. I think they ideally would like to avoid them and get to the Pacers. But this is what's crazy about health and the consistency of the whole season long. I think we all could agree right now we'd rather play the Pacers than the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat, and they're probably going to finish ahead of them. So it's crazy, the timing and the injuries and everything. But also, I think teams are in this. I think we overthink it too much. I think teams honestly just try and win the game and we'll let the chips fall as they may. Don't focus on. I think their coaches, especially a team like New York, don't care. Don't worry about the standings. Don't focus on it. Focus on tonight. Handle our business. The basketball gods. If we try and do this and that and kind of overlook this team, bad things happen. So I think every team is preparing to win. I think if the Thunder sit down SGA and Jalen Williams tonight, I think they're obviously okay with losing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think really these guys are still trying to compete. No one's going to go out there and try and lose on purpose.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that.
The only thing to that, Chandler, is the players are going to go out and compete no matter what. But, you do have the analytics. You do have staff. You do have the people in the front office that says, listen,
not Tibbs.
This year we match up better with this team. We might play hooky a little bit. Hey, you got a little ankle thing going on. Let's rest that ankle. And we're trying to win the game. But if we don't, it's not such a bad thing if it puts us in a position to be matched up somewhere that's favorable for us. So now you got to start kind of paying attention to those games being played as well.
100%.
It does seem complicated.
And there's still 3 more games left. And with the Knicks too, they can literally get up to the 2 seed. So I think right now it's too early to kind of fool around with it. I think there's 1 game left and I can sit Jalen Brunson because if we lose, great. We play Indy. If we win, we play the Cavs. We'd rather face Indy. Okay, didn't do it. But 3 games left. There's still so much shuffling to happen.
It seems like a lot to consider rather than just going out and winning. That just seems the simpler way to do it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Wemby has a new logo, and just like him, it's increíble when Run It Back returns.
That's actually how you say that?
Run it up.
So whoever dropped this at Nike during an eclipse day with this logo for Wom Minyama, I hope they got a raise. Guys, initial thoughts when you saw it, Chandler?
Yeah, it's sick. Like you said, the fact that they dropped this during a freaking eclipse and the video somewhere in South Texas, the whole thing, I love it. The guy's a freak. He's a freak of nature. He's an alien. It fits. It's beautifully done.
Do you love it, Lou? I mean, I'm going to get hoodies. I'm going to get pants. I'm going to get it all.
They knocked this out of the park. I'm a big fan of this logo. I think it fits. It matches the persona, the personality, everything that's going on. This is super cool. We can agree on this for women.
I know. Look at us, all 3 of us. Wemby's bringing us together, and that's just one other thing he does well. Okay, so if in the Mount Rushmore logos, I mean, I'm assuming Air Jordan's first. What do you have on that list?
Ooh, there's some good ones. I'm Orlando. I love the Shaq logo of him hanging on the rim. That was one of my favorite logos growing up. I love Kyrie Irving's logo with the K and the 1 and the I. Okay. Kevin Durant's is cool. It's simple little KD there. Allen Iverson's the I3 back in the day was sick.
1 cent for penny.
No, that's okay. Cool. Yeah. Man, this one might jump to the top very quickly. Not the top, but top 3. Can you give me top 3?
It's
up
that,
there.
that comes with that comes with him building the brand to a place where it's respected worldwide. Like, you know, the Jumpman symbol isn't even synonymous with Michael Jordan anymore. It stands alone because of, you know, the rich history of that. If he's able to put himself in that position, then sure, it can go top 3. But right now, it's the Jumpman logo and everybody else.
Wait, are you telling me there are people out there that see the Jumpman logo and don't think Michael Jordan first?
My son is 4. He has 100 pairs of Jordans. He doesn't know who Michael Jordan is.
That's awesome. That is so, it's crazy to me just because that's not my brain, but that's right. This new generation has no idea. Wow. What a time to be alive. Well, whenever this merch comes out, I hope we get a heads up because this might be the first time ever that I'm excited ahead of time for some Nike merch. We'll take a quick break when we come back. Clothing and fashion. It's what we do best here at Run It Back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
Oh, I missed it. Fit or Brit, guys, and we are going to start with PJ.
There we go.
Is that leather? Like
Christmassy.
It is Christmas. You know what? I do try to avoid red, green, all other parts of the year because of the Christmas.
Michelle, also, we're so sweaty, we could never wear these leather pants.
No. I would probably catch something from sweating so bad. You're not allowed to sweat that much all day long. But it would be good to lose weight, water weight. Jaime Jaquez, what do you got?
Oh,
He's going full LA West Coast.
no.
I don't like it. It's like a giant something.
don't like it.
I like it. It looks appropriate.
It looks comfortable. That I give it a thumbs up. My favorite coming up. MGK and Trippy Red.
Maybe I'm
know.
showing my age on this one. This ain't it.
No.
Is that a Louis Vuitton puffer jacket on MGK?
That's
not
Louis.
cheap.
That's a Louis Vuitton.
It's a Louis Vuitton. I don't know. I looked up Trippy Red too. You're right. Kelly Oubre. He could do no wrong. It's like a Lenny Kravitz-esque.
If those first leather pants would do a number on us, Michelle, these tight ass leather pants.
They would have to cut us out of these pants, Chandler.
Yeah, I'd have to go to urgent care to get out of these things.
But he looks perfect. Like I changed nothing.
Hey, but he was in Miami. You know you got to get it down in Miami.
This looks sad.
It's like Wimby.
Claxton. Yeah, I thought that's why I went like this. It's like a Where's Waldo-y kind of nerd.
Why does he look sad, Beadle?
I don't know. There's just a sadness to the necklace. Everything's sad. I don't know. Nas Reed. Okay.
I like those chrome
this.
hearts jeans. I just don't know if I like the top of it.
I don't know. It's like an 80s vibe. I don't hate it. Lou?
Yeah, I don't hate this.
It's Grease vibes, but the jacket is a little short for my style. But it's all right.
Okay, fair enough. I kind of love it. There, I said it.
Okay.
Not everyone can do it.
Definitely not everyone can do it.
No, it's like cool nerd.
Everybody doesn't want to do it. But this is
We need to do more. Oh, we're gonna leave on that one. Oh, God. See y'all tomorrow.